Hi, I'm Michael Waterhouse. Cheers. Today I'm going to show my friend Brook, one of my favorite young bartenders, my cocktail collection for the first time. So she's at the door right now. We're going to answer the door and have Brook come on in. Hello, dear. You cold?
Hey, yes. Freezing out there.
Come on in. Alright, so this is my place.
Oh, wow. Look at all of your cocktail equipment.
Yeah. I just redid it. I had all the silver together, blues together, reds together. Most of that's 1930s, 20s to 40s, really. So it's been a fun adventure for 20 years. So I'm here with my friend Brook Smith, who's I've been lucky enough to work with for the past year. And Brook is one of my favorite young bartenders, and I've been telling her about my collection, show her some pictures, and tonight we decided to have Brook come over, take a look, and let me tell her about some of the stuff and some of the history. So right now we're at my silver section, I like to call it. Starting with, most of these are probably 1934 to 1940. Might be a couple of things in there from the 50s. What happened is Prohibition was repealed, and I love it because the American populace got really excited and got creative, and I love creativity. So these people got creative and they said, we can drink at home, let's make some really beautiful, fun stuff. So again, I don't know all the provenance of each of these pieces, but here we have a beautiful tall, these are very tall shakers because people drink in parties, and these are all silver plate and the little cups, but everybody drank like 3-ounce martinis, or really big martinis, 3-4 ounces with a common size in the 30s and 40s. Here we have one of my favorite shakers. It's by Gorham Silver Company, and have some accent pieces around it, some other shakers. Again, I don't know all the history of them. Up here we have 2 milk can shakers, and again, I'm trying to think of the names of the company that produced it. Actually, maybe Brook can help me read the bottom of these, because my eyesight isn't so good. What's that say?
Reed and Barton?
Reed and Barton, yeah, that's right. Reed and Barton was a very, very popular company, did a lot of silver. I have a few really cool Reed and Barton pieces. This is by Napier, another silver company. They made really a lot of jiggers, made some different shakers and other bar tools. So this is kind of neat because it's a jigger, boom.
2 ounce.
And then, yeah, and then you can open a bottle of beer with this, and you can stir your drink like this. And it's got the rooster, hence the cocktail. So you'll see a lot of pieces with roosters on them. It's neat, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose tools.
Yeah. Along with that, this is also a Napier shaker. Sorry, one of my little cocktail books. We've got loads of little mixing books. Some were by, what's it say, revised 1936?
1936,
Yeah.
revised again
Yeah,
in 1912.
Yeah, we'll say in 1912 they weren't really serving many drinks. Actually, the Prohibition started in 1919, but so 1936 we see a lot of new cocktail books coming out. What's fun about this one, Brook, is it's for the big shakers. So you have four shots. Well, we have 2 shots. So if we did like Manhattan, would fill this up maybe twice to pour in one of these large shakers, and this one twice with vermouth. So it's kind of neat. Alright, so Brook and I gave Brook a tour of my collection. Now I'm going to make you a cocktail with my antique pieces, which I think is just, you see how clever things are. Alright, so there's a lot of shakers that are shakers. So you shake the drink. A lot of times you take the top off and stir it, then put the top back on, or you had a stirred drink. But this drink is made for stirred drinks, so I'm going to make a Manhattan. These are decanters, 1940s, with built-in jiggers, which I think are absolutely gorgeous. This is bourbon. I like rye. You want to do a rye Manhattan?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll do a rye Manhattan. I think my rye's right here. Didn't do the rye. It's getting low.
You can tell that it's your favorite.
There you go. So I'm going to put that down here. And this is a shaker. I think this is English. Again, not positive. Silver top. Lead crystal base. You kind of got to give it a twirl. It's got a cork seal in it, which is a little worn. I soaked it the other night, so it's got some elasticity to it. But again, smell the cork, which I love. So I like that people use these, and it's a cool thing. So I'm going to put that down. The cork should be locked in here, but it's not staying, but that's okay. So we're going to take our rye. I think you're like me. I like 2 to 1 whiskey, 2 vermouth. So we have a built-in jigger in these, which is really cool. And we're going to go 1, 2. That kind of wrap this up. Let's have a little extra. What the heck? And there we go. I'm going to put that back here. And then we have another bottle that says vermouth. If you can see that, it's a little hard to see in this light, but that's the vermouth.
Is there a particular brand of vermouth you prefer?
That's really the decanters. I don't tell anybody what our brands are, but I actually do like Carpano Antica. So we're going to pour our vermouth in, which is going to be 1. Okay. And then a little bitters, not antique. My antique corks are a little condensed, so I have to soak those, but little bitters. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to put some ice. I love these. This is a ice bucket from the 30s, 40s, 50s, which is nice because you always have to take the top off and put it down. This you flip up and your ice is inside. You don't have to do anything. Some of them are built with a holder for your tongs.
On the inside.
So it's neat. So unfortunately we have new style ice here, so it's a little hard to pick up with the tongs, but we'll do it. Back in the day they had big ice cubes generally, big square ones, and neat tools to pick them up.
Do you believe that the ice and the consistency of the ice?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe that the ice or the size of the ice affects the cocktail?
I think so in some ways. They don't water down so quick, but if you use a smaller cube, my suggestion is just to stir it quicker because it's got more circumference to cover. So I'm not like nuts about it, but I do like the big cubes because there's an elegance to them. Oops, got my cork there. I'm sorry.
Maintains the integrity of the spirit.
Yeah. I'm going to just turn a little bit. It's going to seal in. It's got little things on the inside here. And then we're just going to push down. This stirs the drink. So where we see shakers, here's a stir, which I love this. So serve my friend Brook her drink here. There we go. I'll put it right there for you, hon.
Thank you.
Okay. And I'll just leave mine right here. And thank you for coming over. Cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
You know we have I have some pieces of Dead Rabbit, and I would love to come over and show the people the pieces.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you now? You know a lot about Dead Rabbit. Obviously, we both do. But why don't you tell me, so tell the folks out there?
It's the Dead Rabbit gang that was really prevalent in the financial district or the 5 Points during pre-Prohibition. Water Street was traditionally the most dangerous street in New York City because that's where most of the gangs had let off their battles. It's very much like the movie. It is an Irish immigrant gang. It was led by John Morrissey. He started out as a bare-knuckle fighter when he came over from Ireland and headed up this gang in New York. I hear he went out west and made some money and came back and was a politician and was actually one of the first people to invest in a lot of the taverns and bars and drinking holes that were down on Water Street where the Dead Rabbit gang members would go and hang out after a long shift of working on the docks and Water Street.
That's what, and it's funny when you say that because I know this. One thing I love about the idea of bartending is during pre-TV, the bartenders in taverns had a political opinion that people listened to. So they were influenced, they could influence the public more than say we can these days because we're just overindulged in media and smartphones, but that people would go there to hear the news and hear a bartender's opinion about a certain politician. So I'm sure John Morrissey bought all the taverns just to get elected
Get
to
his
things. I don't doubt
going.
that. I don't doubt it at all.
I absolutely believe he did the same thing, and I appreciate the fact that the Dead Rabbit stayed unique to that fact that there are no TVs. Everything there's so much attention to detail to really bring you back and give you the same feeling as though you're drinking it pre-Prohibition in Manhattan.
Well, it has 2 floors, right? So we have upstairs, which is...
It's more of like a white collar style, sit down, semi-speakeasy because you must have a seat to be up there, but all the recipes from that floor date from 1608 to 1908. Basically meaning there was no vodka, rum, gin, tequila in New York City.
Nothing white.
Nothing white yet. It hadn't made its way up there. So it's more traditional spirits that you would see in drinks like Manhattan. So rye, whiskeys, a couple of spirits that I'm just learning about from working at the Dead Rabbit. And those are spirits that precurse what we know as rum and gin. You
know what's funny is there's spirits that I'm still learning about. And I find it funny after all the years in the business that, I always say that, if you think you know it all, you don't, because I constantly learn. I learn from things like that. I also learn from people. I learn from people, even younger people. I learn from in certain ways the direction or how you handle a customer or whatever it is. So there's a constant learning curve, especially these days in bartending, product lines. But I think some of the guys who know all the product lines have to learn the other parts of bartending, which is the guest. Is the guest, not that guest is always right. I won't always agree with that, but that we treat them the way they should be treated, and remember that they're there for us. So.
And you never know what anyone's went through. Some people could have a bad day, and they're looking to come and make their day feel better, and that's where we come in, and that's to make them feel better about their day, or that.
How do you feel? Like, I have this thing about the term mixologist. People constantly ask me if I'm a mixologist, and I don't know how you feel about it, but tell me how you feel about it.
To me, if you would like to call me a mixologist, by all means, call me a mixologist, but what I do is tend the bar. And I learned this best from you and your advice on what we do is make cocktails and mix cocktails, but we do way more than that. It's not just mixology that we're focused on.
See, I was looking at bartending as being here, and part of it is mixology.
Correct.
Part of it is beer knowledge. Part of it is wine knowledge. Part of so it's tending the bar. So it means I look at it as tending all aspects of the bar. I think it's a proud title to have as a bartender. It's a good title. And me, as you know, I've owned places for years, and I've been around the business, and people are kind of like, oh, doesn't it bother you to go back to bartending? And I think probably one of the greatest jobs in the world is bartending, and it's not one person I haven't met over the years says, oh, I want to be a bartender, or would have loved to have been a bartender, I want to own a pub, I want to own a bar, because it's about community, and it is, and we get these people in, they have a bad day, they come in and they see us, whatever they drink, that's fine, but they're coming in, and that's sort of the beauty of it. I'm sure you've been through people had people come in during traumatic times, during times of a birth of a child. There's a lot of moments that people come in for, sport moments, not so much Dead Rabbit because we don't have the TVs, but I was in 1986, I was working a bar when the Mets won, or they actually didn't win the World Series the night that, some of the young people out there, it's been 86, a ball went through Billy Buckner's legs, and it got us into the 7th game, we won the series. And to me, it was one of the great moments. I got off work, and we're not supposed to drink at work, but luckily the manager, as I was watching, a little depressed that we were going to lose, the manager said, okay, Mike, we're breaking rules tonight, you can drink. And I sat there and I drank with my friends and watched them win that game and went on to the next game, and it was just one of those great bar moments,
You'll always remember it.
Yeah, I'm sure you've had those in your life. Yeah,
absolutely.
More than once, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so...
Well, I vaguely remember you saying that one of the things that intrigued you about the bar business was your father or grandfather?
Well, my grandfather was a bartender at P.J. Clark's, and I wouldn't say he so much intrigued me because I was very young when he worked there, and then he didn't. But just the idea that, my grandfather worked at P.J. Clark's, one of the great old bars in New York. I think it's 1854.
Wow.
My dad influenced me incredibly. As my dad would go to bars, and mostly this bar Bailey's, when Mr. Bailey hired me, and I got to know all these characters at the bar. and my dad would be there, he'd go down and have his buddies, and I'd get to sit next to him at the bar, because it wasn't a big deal about a 10-year-old kid sitting at the bar. Mr. Bailey used to serve me it was RC Cola, which is a local
I've
cola.
heard of RC Cola.
RC Cola, and then it was I think it was Jean's potato chips, and I'd always open a napkin, a bar napkin fully, put it on the bar, dump a bag of chips on it. I was lucky enough to eat my dad's olives from his martini and lick his straw from his Johnny Black, so I think to this day I love Beefeater and Johnny Black, and then Mr. Bailey offered me the job. But so for years I just got to, and we had real characters. So we had this, like, just crew. It was like Cheers, but a whole different group of characters. It was wonderful. And then I was fortunate. I think I tell you the story. I was 14, and I was asked to do a party for this count who had purchased this mansion on the river in Tivoli. Tivoli, New York had a big history of Vanderbilts and Rockefellers and that whole strip of the Hudson River. But this was the Calendar House where Eleanor Roosevelt grew up. And I was fortunate enough that I was asked to do the party by my mother, who was helping a friend who was catering the party. And this guy, Jacques, had purchased the Calendar House, which is just, early late 1700s mansion. And we all knew him because he was this tiny little town of 500 people. He was this superstar, this rich guy from Austria, wherever he was from. And we went down, and I had on my black pants and white shirt, and I came in, and immediately Jacques goes, "Michael, I have your job." And he brings me to the bar, and he's got like your basic stuff, your vodka, your gin, Campari. Campari was really big. We called them the Blue Bloods back then. They would drink Campari. And, wine. And so I was pouring the drinks, blah, blah, blah. And this big burly guy with a red sweater vest comes up to me, and he goes, "How you doing, kid?" I said, "I'm good, sir." He goes, "Give me 2 fingers of whiskey." Now, we saw little jiggers that had 2 fingers earlier. I know it now, but I was 14. I didn't understand him. So he says, "Give me 2 fingers of whiskey, kid." And I said, "I don't understand, sir." He goes, and he points to the Dewar's bottle. He says, "2 fingers of whiskey, kid." Okay, so I go, "Okay, take your glass." I'll use this for now. He says, "Put your finger to the bottom, and then fill it to the top of the second one. That's 2 fingers of whiskey." So I'm 14 years old. I do it. And he goes, "You know what, kid? Give me 4 fingers of whiskey." And I poured it, and he goes, "Thanks a lot." He gives me $5. So I'm just hanging there, and Jacques comes over to check up on me. He goes, "How's everything, Michael?" I said, It's good, Jacques." I said, "The man gave me $5. He goes, "Michael, do you know who that man is?" I said, "No." "That's the son of the woman who grew up here, Eleanor Roosevelt." And so it was FDR Jr. And it wasn't years later, it just hit me. I was like, wow, you're directed somewhere. Like I said, the bar world chose me. That my first tip ever was from the son of the man who repealed Prohibition. And it's still my favorite story to tell people. And I'm telling you again, but I'm very proud of that. And I think that's part of why all this is here. Man of the hour. And check this. I have to get this fixed, but it's one of my favorite. So this clock is inserted in here, and look what the clock is. As it spins, and it doesn't work, he shakes the drink. So it's actually, this is like one of the great pieces. I can't wait to get it fixed up. But this here is the man of the hour, and if it was working, which it's not, this little bartender here would be shaking his drink. So this is just such a great thing to have. I can't wait to display it in a bar one day.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it cool?
With the presidential seal.
Yeah. So that he was the man of the hour. People loved Roosevelt for repealing Prohibition, and which I think invigorated me, and that's this collection.
I also noticed in a lot of old bar literature, most of the time the barkeeps or bartenders were more of a male profession, and now in this industry it's going more towards female styles, and I just was interested on your opinion on that.
Well, my opinion is that those were the days, women couldn't even go to bars. McSorley's didn't allow women until 1972, which is amazing.
I heard they had to have a Supreme Court ruling.
Yeah, but they didn't have a bathroom until 10 years after that. Yeah. So it was the way it was. It's good that it's changed. It's a great thing. I think there's some places now they're too dependent on women, where they're going for let me hire the girl with the with the big boobs, and but the idea is it's hiring quality people, because to give the guests what they want. So I'm all about if you're a good bartender, male or female, absolutely. I don't care, and I think it's great. I wouldn't. I don't even want to go to a bar that was all male. But no, I think it's a great thing, and our times have moved so fast lately. Gay marriage in New York, bravo. There's so many things that are spectacular that are happening. Women behind the bar, men behind the bar. Just be good behind the bar. That's my biggest thing. Is be conscious of your guests. That's the biggest thing I could say, because so many people aren't. So. And
some of the best teams are made up of females and males together.
Boom. Yeah, Brooke and I have had a great time working together. We're going to wrap this up. We're going to go try to visit Brooke over at Dead Rabbit. We'll come visit you downstairs, and maybe go upstairs and peek at some of my collection. Get Sean and Jack in there, see if they want to chat with us a little bit about a little more detail than we've gotten here today, and some of the other great bar folk over there that I know, really great staff. And that's it. So I'm going to bring Brooke out to get her drunk now. We'll go out for a drink, and
thank you again so much for showing me around and teaching me so much about the industry. I know that I still have so many more years to learn.
You're doing all right. You're good with the peeps. There's always something you have to learn. But this is my pride, Joe. It's great to share it with somebody. I haven't really shown my collection in a while. Got motivated to clean it, reorganize it, and show it off. And I couldn't think of somebody better to show it off to. So thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Here, let's have a little toast. Perhaps I'll fill you up again. Little topper on that, so before it gets too watered down. I actually forgot to show you one shaker that actually has a cylinder in the middle, so your ice doesn't melt into it.
That's smart.
Yeah, some clever stuff. And actually, these days there's some really cool stuff coming out too. There's some really innovative people. Well, cheers, Brooke. Thank you.
Cheers.